What's up, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video, guys. It's your boy Shane the Great. Another day, another I guess liquidation cascade. I don't know what to call it, but as you can see, on 24-hour rect right here, $500 million has been liquidated from crypto in the last 24 hours. $450 million of that coming from longs. So it's people trying to go long in the market, which means they're betting the price is going to go up. And then shorts is obviously the opposite of that, which is only 113 million, which isn't that much. And pretty much as we could see, chat. Should I say chat? I don't know. I'll just call you guys or chat. I have no idea, man. when I used to stream, I used to say chat, but yeah. So, but yeah, pretty much Bitcoin. It went all the way to 114K, as you guys saw in yesterday's video. I did make that video like right after it did hit that. So like it was like around this time I was making the video, and then it just kept on going further down later on in the day, and pretty much it erased its whole entire gain from prior to that pump. And yeah, right now we're just kind of chopping, I guess you could say. We did go all the way to 106,000 at 7 a.m. I don't know why this dump happened here. Maybe some like news or just like huge manipulation event from the exchanges. But anyways, we hit 106K here earlier today, and now we're back to 108K. We did go up to 109, but you know, like I said, we are chopping around, and we're pretty much holding this support of 107,800. And in my opinion, guys, obviously this is not financial advice, I think we go lower before things get better. So like I said in previous videos, even yesterday, I think I said Bitcoin can go from all the way to these prices all the way to $98,000, which is a 9% drawdown, which is nothing in crypto. Obviously, if you're a stock bro or a TradFi bro, that's like a black swan event. That's like a recession for you, but for us, that's nothing. But I don't think it'll go at 98K. Obviously, if we do see like a huge liquidation event like we saw 2 weeks ago, and then we see like other, you know, macro news like Trump announcing more tariffs, or like, you know, something along those lines, or like a war, you know, I don't know, if the US invades Venezuela, like oil will go like crazy. I don't know, like something along those lines, like you guys know what I mean, like something with the macro factor of news. But I think we can probably find a bottom, because what we hit 103K, was it? Yeah, last Friday. So only, yeah, less than a week ago. So that's 4% down. So we could go back to retest those levels. We could fill in that gap. Or we could just go all the way to 100K. It doesn't really matter, 100K, 103K. It's not really a big deal unless you're like doing leverage trading. If you're buying spot, like you shouldn't really care that much. Or like, yeah, unless you're trading leverage or like huge amounts of money. 1 to 3%, like 1 to 3% should make a big difference for you. But yeah, Ethereum's in the same boat. I currently have a buy order for 3,750, I think. And it's kind of funny because like 7 a.m. when I was asleep, it was $20 away from that limit order, which kind of sucks. But we're kind of going back to these levels, so like it doesn't make a big deal. Maybe we'll go lower. But Ethereum's actually a good spot. I was saying this in yesterday's video. The risk reward for Ethereum is actually very good. Yeah, if we look here, like worst case, we just go down to 3%, which we saw last Friday, so less than a week ago. And then if we break those levels, we go down to 3,400, which is 10% down. And then if we break those, we go to 3,200 or 3,100, which is about like, what, 15-ish% drawdown in total from these levels. So that actually isn't that bad. But if things turn around soon, you know, we get back up to 4,400, you can make 15%. And then obviously if we break above that and we hold that, you know, while there's no foolishness going on in crypto, we can go all the way to test previous all-time highs of 4,900, which is 30%, which is doubled gains. And then obviously, I in my opinion, if we do get to those levels, we will probably break that and we'll go to like 5K. And then from there, that'll be a very good spot to be looking at if we do hold 5K. And obviously if you hold 5K, then 5,500 is pretty realistic, which is almost 50% gain if you buy right now. Obviously, I'm not saying to buy right now and like this is a guaranteed return and gain to be made in the market, but that's just how you kind of have to look at things when it comes to risk reward. It's like, okay, you could buy now, but you also have to understand the risk. If you buy now, it can drop to all the way, let's just say 3,000, so 20%, or like what, 15%, so like 3,200-ish, right? So, but if you buy now and then the market reverses in a week or two, you could make 15 to 20%. So it's like a 1-to-1 risk reward ratio, which isn't the best. You want to have like at least like 1 to 2, but that's just like an example. And then obviously if you're a day trader or like leverage trader who day trades or do scalps, you know, this doesn't really matter. Like you're trading on like very short time frames, like on the 1 minute, 5 minute, like what I usually look at. I usually look at the 5 minute and then the daily and the weekly charts. And maybe eventually I'll look at like the 1 hours, and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't really care. And obviously the meme coins like Pepe is kind of just following Ethereum, so I'm not going to talk much about those. Same with Dogecoin. Everything's following Ethereum. Ethereum's like the king of all alts, obviously, and then obviously Bitcoin's the king of all cryptos. And then Bitcoin dominance, which I didn't speak about in a while actually, it's starting to get back up here. Do I not have any? I thought I had resistance levels here. Oh no, I do. Okay, sorry. Let me go on my daily chart. Okay, there we go. So on the daily chart, Bitcoin dominance, it peaked at 66% right before altcoins got top in end of July or like mid-July, right? Yeah, right here. And then obviously, like looking back, this was the best time to sell all of your alts. Even if you weren't in like big amounts of profit, this was a good time to sell. And then obviously now you buy your DCA in, but no one has a crystal ball, right? So, but yeah, pretty much you got a little thing right here. We got rejected at 63% and we went all the way down, made new lows, and then we made new lows in September. Alts actually did okay around that time. And then obviously we started to go back up, they start to lose strength. And then we had the huge liquidation event on Friday, October 10th. Oh, I thought it was 11th. Yeah, Friday, October 10th. And then, yeah, pretty much Bitcoin dominance has been going up, creeping slowly. And then, in my opinion, it probably, unfortunately, gets back above 60%, which I know people don't want to hear, but that's just the reality of things. If it does that, then we'll probably see altcoins go down another 10-15% from here. And then best case, I mean, it goes up, but altcoins don't go down as much. Because obviously when Bitcoin goes up, alts will follow as well. But obviously if Bitcoin dominance goes like very high, then altcoins, they wouldn't go super high as well. So like you'll be in a better spot to have Bitcoin at that point. But like I think Ben Cohen, he was saying that. If I look here, he was saying this about Bitcoin dominance. Yeah, once Bitcoin dominance breaks 60%, it should move up very quickly. And then obviously a lot of people are kind of mad at him for saying that because most everyone holds altcoins. I mean, I mostly hold altcoins. I'm not going to cap. But, I mean, you got to trade what's in front of you. That's just what it is. But yeah, moving, just to finish out before we move on to some X posts. Bitcoin dominance, maybe it'll fill this candle wick. It'll go to 63%. Maybe it makes new all-time highs, new highs, or goes to previous highs of 65, 66%. I don't think it'll do that. I think it'll go up to 60, 63%. And then from there, we'll probably see a drop to like, hopefully 54, which was the low back in November, December 2024. Maybe we get in the 40s, but yeah. Point is, right now, what I'm doing, guys, is I'm just DCAing into these altcoins. Like, look, right now, everything's going down even more now because, Bitcoin's going down. It just broke below 108,000. And then, Pepe is down another 2% right now. And then ETH is going down right now. Maybe I'll get that buy order in. We'll see. But yeah, let's go to some posts. So, Clandestine letter, once again, extreme fear on a 1% down day for the S&P 500. This is not the type of activity you see right before a market crash. That's crazy. But that also shows how I don't want to say overvalued in a bad way, but that shows how overvalued the stock market is. So yeah, this extreme fear. Imagine what actual panics in a price like. Negative 2% would be extreme panic at this rate. Yeah, that's funny. The U.S. has said announced a substantial increase in sanctions on Russia within 24 hours. Secretary of Investment calls a substantial pickup in Russia sanctions. No good. That could be a potential black swan event or just big liquidation event. So if you're playing with leverage, make sure you have your stop losses. Be careful. Maybe don't even trade leverage at all. I was like debating on using leverage earlier today, but I don't want to mess with that in case you see another October 10th liquidation event of $19 billion. I don't want to see that ever again. I don't think we'll get back to those numbers, but we'll probably for sure see like $5 or $10 billion. Strong traders finally seeing the pain crypto traders go through on a daily basis. So Beyond Meat, which is like the plant-based company, they're pretty much on Wall Street Bets, which is like the big Reddit thing that happened with GameStop 3 years ago, I think, or 4 years ago. And yeah, they went up like 16x in the last week. I think they went up like 6x in the last couple days since yesterday on Monday. And then right now, it is now down negative 10% after reaching $9 a share. Now it's $3 a share, so that's crazy. But yeah, no, this guy's right. Now they're finally realizing what we go through as crypto traders. And is that pretty much it? Yeah, there's not really much to really talk about in the macro news, guys. Just quickly, let's look at the liquidation heat map for Bitcoin before I end off this video, because this will give you a good idea. Actually, I haven't looked at this in a while, but this will give you a good idea on how much liquidations or how much leverage there's to liquidate on both sides of the scale. Okay, so you have about 50 million right here, 61 million to all the way 100,000. You have a bit more lower, like 105, 104. Then man, we got 300 million, 330 million. We got so much more above. If we could break 114K, which was the high we saw yesterday before the big dump, as y'all can see right here. If you look at a better indicator for on CoinGlass, so this is a bit more easier to understand, but we got liquidations all the way to 95K. I don't think we'll hit that. If we do hit that, say goodbye to the bull run. But yeah, we should go. I mean, worst case, we should go to 100K. $6 billion of longs to be liquidated. And then shorts, man, we have a bunch of shorts to be liquidated. If we go to 100, yeah, 3 billion at the previous high yesterday. And then all the way to $18 billion if we go to previous all-time highs. And in my opinion, guys, the market makers, they'll be stupid to not go up before they crash the market. So it's only a matter of time before the market goes up, in my opinion. Not financial advice. But yeah, so I'm just DCAing. What my plan is, like I said, I'm slowly DCAing in this coins like Pepe, Ethereum. Maybe I'll start buying some Bitcoin again if I see it go down to 100K. And yeah, but I'm also making sure I'm gonna have some cash on hand too, because maybe the bear market does end. I'm sorry, maybe the bull market does end and then the bear market starts. And then obviously, if that is the case, you want to sell everything as fast as possible to be prepared to buy things if it gets when it does get cheaper. But yeah, I don't think that's happening anytime soon. Maybe worst case that happens in like 2 to 3 months, but I don't think that'll happen within a month or so. Actually, I lied. I think it'll happen in like 3 to 6 months. I think the rest of the year will be bullish, but that's just my opinion. Make up your own decision, guys, on what your plan is, but that's just mine. But yeah, guys, God bless, take care. Be sure to drop a like and also subscribe if y'all did enjoy, and peace.